In this audio recording, I want to talk about who we are not. We've already talked about who we are, and I think that's pretty clear. And actually, it's pretty clear when you come to work here who we are. And the deeper question is a little bit who we are not, meaning like, well, probably the better way to say it is how can you actually get fired at, at Lean Tech? Let me just say, first of all, we don't like firing anybody, and we want to hire for life, and we really want people to be successful. And we increasingly so are believing that failures are really the at least for the most part, the failure of a leader to not, basically who's not explaining or teaching properly. Leadership is really about providing clarity, training, and then support to meet that clarity. So that's what leaders are supposed to do. So most of the time when things fail, it's the system, it's the process, it's the environment, it's the culture, yeah, but it may be the behaviors of the individual or the genetic wiring of the individual. So let's say that it wasn't the leader, it wasn't a lack of clarity, it wasn't a lack of training, and it wasn't a lack of support, and it's not the system, the process, and it's not the environment, and it's not the culture of the company. Let's say it is the behavior or prompted or learned behavior of the individual or the genetic wiring of the individual. What are some things that will basically mean that a person is not a fit and they will get fired? Now let's talk about fired. Fired really isn't supposed to be a negative thing. There's so many different companies, so many different places to work out there in the industry. So letting somebody go is really allowing them the respect to go find a place where they are aligned, because they may not be aligned with us. And that's respectful in both ways. So there really isn't anything negative about it. It hurts somebody's ego for a minute, but in the actually immediate future and the long term, it's better for the person. So here are some just pretty standard ways to realize that somebody's not a fit. Number one, if they lie. We have no use for liars. Number two, and this is directly from Toyota, if a person looks down on Gemba people, meaning workers, frontline workers, lean engineers, anybody, even the janitor, if you look down on people in a hierarchical way, you're not a fit, and we will ask you to leave. There's two other things that I want to mention right away. One is a keeper test. If you talk to your supervisor and said, "Hey, if I got another offer that I couldn't refuse, and I told you I'm leaving tomorrow, would you fight to keep me?" And if the supervisor, or would you be relieved? And if your supervisor says, "No, I would be relieved and I would not fight to keep you," then that's called the keeper test. And if you fail that test, you're probably not a cultural fit or performing properly inside the parameters. The other thing is a people analyzer. That's where you take our 5 core values and you ask yourself, where your supervisor does it, and you say, do you behave this way most of the time, sometimes, or not at all, and you give yourself a plus, plus, minus, or minus score. The lowest score you can get is plus, 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 minus, plus, minus. If you get any negatives, or if you have more than 2 plus minuses, then you're not a cultural fit, and you probably don't belong here for the happiness of you and for us. There's a couple of other ones I want to talk about. Number one, if somebody shits on their team, meaning like you're acting badly, or you disrespect, or you fail your team, and not in an accidental way, but on like you're behaving this way. The other one is if you don't have the mental or physical ability to do a good job, but that's not a negative thing. That just means you don't have the minimum pay to play requirements. There's also a book called Humble, Hungry, and Smart. No, it's not the book. It's called the Ideal Team Player, and it talks about humble, hungry, and smart. Where are you humble, willing to lean in and do whatever the team needs? Are you hungry, meaning you actually want to progress in your career and you have that hunger? And are you smart with people? So that's my first list. But if I go down and look at the 8 people who haven't made it in this company so far in 5 years, which isn't bad. The first one lacked the mental capacity, but we're still close with that person. When we see each other, we hug each other. It really isn't a negative thing. It's just that person could not rise to the occasion. What we do is hard. Second person was not a hard worker. The third person was not a hard worker. The fourth person lied. The fifth person shit on their team. The sixth person was not a hard worker, shit on their team. and really did some unethical things. And then person number 7 and 8 were not hard workers. So it seems like the people that don't make it here are not hard workers. Second, they are doing or shady things. Third, they're shitting on their team. And then the last one, which doesn't happen very often, is they lack the mental capacity. So if you're worried about not making it here, these are the things that we're not, right? We are not against our core values. We're not liars. We do not look down on people. We do not shit on our team. We do not have bad behavior. We do not shy away from hard work. Right, and we don't avoid the humble, hungry, and smart. Like, we do want humble, hungry, and smart. So I hope that this little voice recording, which will become a video, will help you, and we'll also turn this into a graphic so that people know and they have clarity. Because really, if you are honest, if you are good with your team, if you respect people, if you're adding value and working hard, if you have the mental capacity, then you're probably pretty good. You're probably pretty set. You don't have anything to worry about. We'll train you from here. So I hope you've enjoyed this. On we go.